All right, yeah. So continuation, right? So God gives the trustees direction to carry out for the benefit of the beneficiaries. So if I left a house, right, for my children, I'm God. My children are the beneficiaries. They're benefiting from what I'm leaving behind for them. And then I have a trustee, right? They're going to hold it for my beneficiaries until they reach of age, of competent mind, to where they can take over and run shit and run things themselves. All right? That's how it's supposed to go. So you have your grantor, your beneficiary, and your trustee. So now let's break this down into real life. I am the grantor, me standing before you, real life in flesh. My child is the beneficiary. And let's say I have a trust, right? A trust called Ku'el Trust. Ku'el Trust, which is an entity, that's my trustee. That's how I operate. I operate through my trustee. I give my trustee directive because my trustee is a corpse. Okay? My child is benefiting, and I'm the grantor. I'm the one giving the funds. I'm the one giving the resources, right? I'm the creator. So that's how it works. Now, break it down even a more simpler scenario. I got one of my brothers. He's going over to the store. He say, hey, you want anything? I'm running over to the store. You know what? Let me get a bag of chips. Now, I'm trusting him, right? Because I'm supplying the fund. I'm supplying the note, the resource. So I'm supplying the note to get the chips. So I'm trusting him, right? He's the trustee. I'm the grantor. You see, because I gave him the funds. I gave him the resources. So I'm trusting my partner with the resources to go to the store, pick up what I asked him to get for me, and for him to come back with that in hand for me to benefit off of. Now, if I had said, yo, go to the store and go get a bag of chips, and you know, if you're heading over to my, to see my family, give it over to one of my family members. He's still the trustee. He's still, and not in a slave way. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he's carrying out a favor. He's doing me a favor. But in that position, he's a trustee because he's holding my assets for me according to how I want it to be delegated. So if I said, yo, when you come back, can you bring me a bag of chips? Here's the $1. I'm the grantor and the beneficiary. He's the trustee. He goes, grabs it, comes back to the store, hands it to me. The exchange is complete, but that's a trust. All right? That's how it operates. But what people do is they make themselves the trustee. I don't know how that works. A trustee can be a trustee can be an entity or a human being. So I really don't know how that. For other people, I guess, but I would never want to be in a trustee position. We've been in a trustee position within the 14th Amendment status long enough, man. Right? Why not just be in a free person status? And that's what happens when you have an estate, because your estate is not a 14th Amendment, it's a free person. The state ID of me is the 14th Amendment. But it's my 14th Amendment because it carries my title on it. You understand what I'm saying? I have rights to that title because there's no one else on this planet that goes by the title of Ku'umare Su'el. You know why I know that? Because I am the only one like me on this planet. And that name came from me. You understand? You get the drift? That's called divine uniqueness. Divinity. I am me. You understand? And if I want to break that down to like a tonal, you know what I'm saying? Because we weren't speaking words like this. We were saying sounds. So if I had to go by sound, my sound name is Kulu. You understand what I'm saying? If we way back in the day, you would just call me Kulu. Kulu, Kulu, Kulu. That tone, that's my resonance. All right? So that's the basics of a trust law. You have your grantor, your trustee, your beneficiary. You have to be in your correct status. So it's one thing to nationalize and do everything in public, but it means nothing if you don't have an estate. Think of your estate as your castle. If you don't have an estate, you don't have a castle, right? If you ain't got a castle, you ain't got nowhere to store your valuables. Think about that. If you don't have a castle, right, as a king or queen, or emperor or empress, you have nowhere to store your valuables. As God, you have no kingdom. You have no heaven or safe haven. A safe haven is heaven. You understand? And it's safe because it's secured, it's protected from foreign interference. All right? We've been interfered long enough. This is the day and age of everyone needs to have a trust in place. If you don't have a trust in place, you ain't talking at all. You ain't talking. You don't exist. You are not within constitutional fold of government. All right? Because all the states ought to be bequeathed by will in writing. Of course, nowadays we got computers, so everybody can type, but you get the gist. You understand what I'm saying? So that got to be on the record. Got to. You have to hold an estate. You have to be a freeholder. You know why? Because when other interests come over here and put a indefinite suspension, okay, on the U.S. Democracy Company, all assets within the United States, guess what? They belong to China because the U.S. owe China gold. They belong to Russia because the U.S. owe Russia gold. They belong to Germany. Let's just say they belong to Europe because the U.S. owe Europe gold. You understand? Not to mention the peoples over here in the Americas. They owe me gold too. They owe you gold. Indigenous man and woman. You know what I'm saying? So they got a very, very high debt. A very, 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 very high debt. So all I'm saying is anything that's within the United States will be considered property of those takeover. So if I were you, rather than watching Empire, I would establish my empire, establish my castle, establish my trust, okay, so that I can operate and know that when things go shit, I still have my property and my assets are protected because they're within my castle, right? You need to have a castle. Everyone needs to have a castle. Everyone needs to have a castle. You need to have an estate. You need to have a trust. But guess what? You need to be freer. You need to be free and clear because those European names, because you didn't create them from scratch and you don't own the original copyrights to them, you don't own the intellectual property rights to them, right? Because they didn't come from your mind. That name didn't come from your mind. Therefore, you don't own the rights to it. Someone else does. And that's why when you do business in other people's names, you don't have the rights to those properties. Property goes into probate if something happened to you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's best to operate within your free national name. That's what Drew Ali was saying the whole time. Do business in your free national name. There's a reason why it's a free national name, because it's free. It came down from the heavens. It's unencumbered. No one can put a lien on it. It's fresh. It's brand new. Okay? It's brand new. It's a beautiful thing. And once you operate in that, there's no liens on that. So guess what? Anything and everything you do in that name, guess what? Belongs to you. Tangible and intangible intellectual property rights. Because my title came from my mind and my heart. So I own the intellectual property rights. So whatever I put my intellectual property rights on, I own. Which includes that state ID. I own that. Because my title's on that. I have rights to my title. It don't matter about the card. It don't matter about the card. I got rights to that title. And that title does not classify as black. I took care of that at the Social Security Administration with an SS5 update. And if I were you, I would remove myself from black, African American, and just put American Indian, as you properly are. Especially if you're of this complexion, if you come from the Americas, okay? Just because you're not in the United States or one of the 50 states don't mean you don't come from America. Cuba's in America, Venezuela's in America, Haiti's in America, Puerto Rico's in America, Dominican Republic's in America, Panama's in America, all right? Peru's in America. Get your geography right. When we're talking about America, we ain't just talking about the 50 states. The 50 states is only North America. You still got Canada above that. That's also North America. What about South America? What about Central America? What about the islands? All of that is America, y'all. That whole shit is your birth inheritance from our ancestors. Stop fucking shitting on it. Respect it. Let it respect you. We've been here for millennia. It's time to be yourselves. You can't pretend no more. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. The light is out now. You got to be yourself. You got to be yourself. You ain't got a choice in the matter. It's either be yourself or die. Be yourself or die. Be yourself or die. Peace.